y'all. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am your host, the HBIC around here. You may call me Chrissy. And I want to start this episode by addressing the elephant in the room, which is 2022. I want to talk about the new year, what it means to me, pretty much just all things that I'm on right now and some things that I've been seeing that's been bothering other people as we start this year. Pretty much a little drag of the past, bring it to the present, address it so we could throw it away, leave it behind, okay? So the word for me that sets the tone for my year this year would be focus. And what do I mean by focus? Who am I focusing on? What am I focusing on? I'm focusing on myself. Me. Like anything I want to do, it's whatever I want. Like that's just the vibe I'm on. It's like I really actually want to be selfish. And honestly, I really want to be a bitch. Like I really want to be a bitch. And I don't care what way you think I'm talking about. I don't care about that. I'm talking about what it means to me to be a bitch and to just focus on myself. Everything that means to me is what I'm talking about. I don't feel like going into detail and explaining it because this is me explaining to y'all what's in my head. This is me just telling y'all what I'm thinking. So that's what I'm thinking. But in being a bitch and in focusing on me, what does that come with? For the new year, a lot of people like to make cuts. Not everyone makes it to the next year. And I've been seeing that. Not in my life, because if all the cuts that have been made, it really hasn't even been me. It's really just been like God. It's really been like outside forces that make it impossible for people to stay in my life. So luckily, I haven't had to actually make any cuts. It's just been life making the cuts for me. But one way that I don't like to make cuts and I don't really respect and I just haven't grasped and understood how people are able to do this, how they have the heart to do this, is ghosting. One way that, like, I don't want to say one way. I feel like the most popular way that people in relationships is just by ghosting people. And for some reason, maybe it has something to do with my abandonment issues. I don't know. But for some reason, it really pisses me the fuck off. And it really makes me like, I don't know. It's just like, bro, you've been talking to me your whole life. You've been talking to me for 5 years. You've been talking to me for 3 years. However long we've been talking, being friends or relationships, intimate partner, we've been doing this for this long. So why all of a sudden now you just gonna not hit me up and let me know you don't want to be my friend no more? You don't want to talk to me no more. You don't want to be in my life. It's just like, it's that thing where people say, do you want closure? Do you need closure? I don't even think, see, and that's why I say I always feel like I don't need closure. When I say closure, I feel like I don't need you to tell me necessarily why it's ending. Like maybe the why, whatever. I've lived with wondering why. So I could live with that. But when I say closure, bro, just let me know what's going on. Like, don't have me sitting here texting your phone, like, and I'm getting no response when, my guy, you can just tell me. Like, that's the part that it just bothers me. I really be like, you a bitch ass. Like, it really makes me feel like people are weak if they just can't tell you, oh, I don't like you anymore. I don't want to be your friend anymore. So with that being said, people also ghost people just for reasons like temporary ghost is another thing I've been seeing, which it's like, what are the rules to this? I mean, the questions I have for this kind of stuff is like unlimited amount of questions. Like, if you ghost me for like 3 weeks, can you now come back? And I should be understanding because it's all this mental health talk. Like, is that one thing? Or like, so I'm just supposed to forgive like your inconsistency? Like, how does this really work? Because it seems like no one likes ghosting, but then it also seems like everyone like approves of it if it's like in the name of mental health, and I just need my space and I just need to do what's best for me and I just need to focus on me. So it's like, that's like a get out of jail free card, it kind of seems. But nevertheless, here we are. And that's what's happening in life. A lot of people are ending relationships in the form of actually deuce, like actually, like you're not seeing me no more. But that's what's up though. I mean that not everyone is a fan of confrontation. Like not everyone can do that. So that's fine. I mean, I guess what I'm saying is if I'm going to be having people in my life, I kind of really feel like they need to be more similar to who I am and how I am. I feel like last year I was really accepting of everyone like being who they are. And don't get me wrong, I still am going to accept people for who they are, like for who you are. I'm not going to try to change you. That's really not what I'm here for unless it's like elevate you, or just like help push you to keep being who you are. I'm down with that. But I really just, something in this weird age that I'm at, it's like I don't have the urge to want someone to like be something else. I really want to enjoy you for who you are. And I'm talking about all relationships, family, friends, intimate relationships. This is not about anything, anyone particular, like any type of relationship particular, but all interactions I have with people. So in the midst of me being so accepting of everyone for exactly who they are, if they were completely different or opposite from me, I was still, or they have different morals than me, like they just operate differently. I'm still accepting it. Like, okay, that's who you are. This is who I am. We can come together. But honestly, no. Like, I need people who would like to handle problems the same way I like to handle problems. If I'm a direct person, I'd rather have a conversation and I'm not going to be in my feelings super offended by the conversation or by you having a problem with me. Then I need people around me that also can be mature and understand that, like, hey, I like you, but I don't like what you did in this moment. This is how I want to address it and move on. I just kind of feel like for me right now, I'm a little bit past the ghosting stage of like life. Like I don't want to handle my relationships where I can't talk to you about an issue I have with you. I just don't see how that can be a long-term relationship. Like how can we be lifelong friends and companion if we can't like tell you what you did that I didn't like and then just move on, like fix it and move on. I just don't understand that. So, with that being said, that's how a lot of people have been shedding their circles for the new year. And that got me thinking like, what all does our circles look like? What all do our circles consist of? And like just how deep does it have to really be? For me, I do enjoy a good circle of friends where I really can just laugh. Like I like to say that I'm a low maintenance friend. And with that being said, I don't really need my friends for anything other than, bro, like, can we laugh? Like, let's just be silly. That's really what I like. Don't get me wrong, I do love to talk about serious things. Like, ooh, let's get high and talk about outer space and like watch some trippy movies or do stuff like that. Of course. But for the most part, that's really what I like from my friends is just a good time. Like I see my friends, I see the relationship with my friends building to be that of family. So I think about my family. I mean, I can tell my family anything, but for the most part, it's good times. It's love, it's fun, it's happiness. I feel like with social media, y'all know we gotta name drop. We gotta call social media out. I feel like social media is gonna be in every episode I post from now on because it's just such a reality of life right now. I feel like with social media, it pressures you to always have this producing circle of friends. Everyone needs to always be on their grind. Everyone needs to be elevating consistently. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying those things like it's a bad thing because that sounds foolish. Like, of course, that should ultimately be what you and your friends are doing. But I think that sometimes we all just kind of get caught up in just producing and doing of life, working and just doing something instead of just actually living. Like, what if you living today is you just watching TV all day? Like, what if that is you living because you work 6 days, the rest of the 6 days of the week? Like, what if you living is really grocery shopping and you're just in the market and it just feels like you're just being present, is what I'm saying. So that's kind of a whole nother like mood of like everything I could talk about right there, because I'm so big on just really trying to be present, like in life, because life is a present. So we need to live in the present. Ain't that something, ain't somebody say that somewhere? I don't want anyone to stress about their circle and having to be like don't get me wrong, oh, you are who you hang out with. I think that really means like what's y'all's conversations looking like? What are their habits? What are they doing individually? Who are they individually versus what are y'all doing together? I don't feel like every best friend duo needs to go into business together. It ain't got to be that deep. Do what you can for your friends. I feel like that. But if you can't do something, don't feel like you're not of value or you're not an asset to someone in their life because you may not can provide for them a certain type of way at a certain time. And that could be whatever. Like if you can't be there for your friend mentally at a certain time, that should not devalue how you feel about them over the whole course of the friendship. That's something I've learned, I've reflected on, and I've actually, I can understand that if you can't be there financially for your friends at a certain time, if your friend has some type of business and you cannot support it financially at the time, I don't feel like you should beat yourself up and feel like you're not still of value to that person because you may not can support them a certain way at a certain time. That's what I mean by that. It's really just all about who people are is what I think. And that also gets me into cutting off your circle. You may not need to make so many cuts in your circle all the time if you vet your friends the same way you would vet a dude or a girl, like the same way. And that's something, once again, I've learned in 2021 and I'm taking over with me for 2022 is I'm going to be very more, I'm going to be more selective and really scope people out before you get that title of friend, of partner, before I just allow people to really hold these places in my life. I've really noticed that I have to check out your upbringing. I need to know about your past. I want to put emphasis that I'm talking about friendships as well. Like, I really don't want y'all to think this is just about some nigga, okay? Because when you look into someone's past, meaning like their upbringing, just how they've handled other relationships, how they handle current relationships, how they treat the people around them, like ultimately vetting girls the same way you would vet a guy is necessary. The same way, you want this power circle, you have to check out these people ahead of time, and not be so trusting. And this is me talking to myself and maybe to anyone that kind of was like this too. You really want to see who you're bringing around because it will save you in the long run of having to make these cuts. That's how I feel about circles and, checking out what your circle actually looks like. But it don't got to be so extreme and it don't have to be so poorly managed either. Like a nice balance of whatever works for your lifestyle. Basically, don't compare yourself to the fake world, social media. If your circle is just your homegirls and they make you happy and y'all have fun and y'all have little traditions, y'all hang out, it could be every 6 months, just Christmas and birthdays, and this what y'all do, that's still your friend, that's still a valuable relationship. It still means something. She don't have to be CEO of 5 companies and y'all doing speaking at what them people be speaking at them shows, and I don't know. It don't gotta be something so extravagant if that's not y'all's life, like life's path, or that's not the field y'all are in. Like, just if these your homegirls and y'all polish each other's nails every day, every weekend, y'all get together and y'all do nails, that's your homegirl. Like, it's okay. Some people can just be a stress reliever. Some people can just be peace in your life, and that's them as a friend for you. That's the benefit they bring to you. Some people could just be supportive, and that's your person you know you need to talk to. If you need to share ideas with, that's your friend you call to share ideas with because they're supportive, you know? So that's how I feel about that. I want to end this episode on accountability because I really feel like that's the gist. Ultimately, that's like the ribbon on top of the type of people I need around me is people that can be honest. Oh, I know y'all hate that word. I know you hate that word honesty. But people that can really be honest, like bruh, at this point, I don't even need you to be honest with me yet. Like, we can get to that. But just be honest with yourself because if you can't be honest with yourself, that is really scary. That makes me really think that you have two people in your head or something. If you can't be honest with yourself, then who is that in your head lying to you? Like, is that you too? Like, which one is you? I don't know. Something about that just doesn't make sense to me because it's like when you're honest with yourself, it's that voice that's in your head that is telling you the truth about how you feel, about what you see. So if you don't have that voice in your head telling you, girl, you know you lying. Girl, what do I feel right now? I don't feel that way. I feel this way. Who is that telling you the other option? I don't know if that makes sense, but that is really just the wildest thing to me. Um, I'm sorry, y'all. I just got a really big problem with liars. Like, bruh, it's just weird. Liars and accountability. Like, can we be self aware? Saying all that to say, those are probably some qualities you should look for in your circle and the people that you're bringing into 2022. People that more likely are not going to be the ghosting type of people because these people are just they're just solid, they're sound, they're mature, they can address things, and not take it, you know, to the heart or to the grave, whichever one. Fucking hold on to it forever. With me talking about accountability, I'm going to ask y'all to be really honest with yourself. Were you the problem in your circle? Like, we get so caught up in being in control of who we can cut out of our lives at any moment for any reasons. But it's like nothing's wrong with that. You can definitely edit your circle as many times as you want, edit your life as many times as you want. But in editing your life and in doing that, when comes the time when you actually look at yourself because you are the controller of everything around you. So it's like, when do you look at, in this instance, it wasn't them, it was me. And oh, this person told me this about myself. Let me actually maybe listen to what they're saying and see if it does apply to me. It just all, rolls back to being honest with yourself and being able to look at, your own actions and just self evaluate yourself. But what do I know? That's all I have for y'all today. Until next dilemma, I'm your host, Chrissy T. Y'all make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, The Real Chrissy T. It's always with a K. Twitter, I run __ my mouth because I do. And I will catch y'all in the next episode. Bye, y'all.